Hey everybody, it's Roger the Car Dad, and I'm here with Jenna for another episode. Today we're going to talk about tires, which is probably the second most researched and discussed topic besides oil and oil changes. We've developed a principle called the IRA Technique to make your tires last as long as possible. Just a little word about tires. The replacement market in the United States is approximately 250 million units. Tire factories are massive operations. They can crank out between 25 and 30,000 tires a day. And basically, there's not a bad one in the batch. There are some different performance criteria. Some handle better in the wet and the dry. Some handle better in wet. Some ride more comfortably. Some might last longer. Some might be quieter, etc. But again, from a quality standpoint, the separation between the brands, regardless of where they're made in factories, is narrow to almost non-existent. But there are some people that obviously have their preference on their brands. Other people swear that they'll never ride on a tire that gave them a problem. Tire problems fall into three basic categories. 99% of an issue that you might have with a tire, believe it or not, is going to be mechanical, something with the car. The other thing is owner abuse or neglect. And what's an example of each one? Mechanical, worn shocks or struts, misalignment, ball joints, tie rods, control arms, bushings, etc. Owner neglect, not maintaining proper tire pressure. If you have an older car that doesn't have the system, once a month or every 1,000 miles, you should be getting out there with a pressure gauge, check your tires, because visually, if you're not a trained professional, you're not going to be able to tell if your tire is underinflated. Abuse. Spin the tire on wet or dry, whether it's braking or accelerating. Again, wet or dry, doesn't matter. If your tire chirps, squeals, screeches, the tire means it's slipping and you're taking rubber off the tire in unequal amounts, thereby setting up a irregular tread pattern for wear. Let's go through it. IRA, and we did this in order of user-friendly, DIY-friendly to more complicated. The I stands for inflation. Again, pressures are probably one of the most important things you can do. If you're running a tire that's 4, 5, 6 psi under, you could expect accelerated tire wear, usually in the shoulder area from turning and braking as well. You want to maintain that tire pressure. Don't wait for that light to go on if you do have a newer car that has the tire pressure monitor, because sometimes they don't work. And they're usually set to go off anywhere between 5 to 7 psi. So again, you could be 3 months till your next oil change. If you're not checking the tires yourself, you could be running around for 3 months basically on underinflated tires. And as you know, or maybe don't know, air pressure is what carries the load of the car. Next, R. R is for rotations. Rotations are important to even out the tire wear between front and back. A lot of front wheel drive cars, for the majority, carry about 60% of their weight on the front, and they do everything. They provide the power, the steering, and the majority of the braking. So typically, without a rotation, the front tires will burn up in half the time as the backs. So if you're only getting 20 or 25,000 miles out of the front tires without a rotation, you're probably getting 40 to 50, maybe even 60,000 out of the back. With the price of tires, you want to squeeze every mile out of them, so rotations are important. Different companies have different levels, anywhere between 5 and 8,000 miles. If you're a gentle driver, you don't use the car that much, even once a year, again, 8 to 10,000 miles on a rotation should be fine. People have different ideas and patterns for rotations. Typically for DIY, if you're doing it yourself in the garage, the easiest thing is just front to back. If you're on a lift, you can actually do what's called a forward cross, where the front tires come straight back and the rear tires cross as they go up to the front. And that's usually a very good result. And there are some 4x4s that even recommend an X pattern. You don't have to worry about belt shift anymore. It's a thing of the past. It doesn't exist. And the reason why is because the way the tire is constructed, there's actually a nylon belt on top of the steel. and that centers the steel belts. They can't go anywhere. It doesn't matter if you flip them around. You can even cross-rotate in some conditions. The next thing is the A, the alignment. Alignment is very critical. Doesn't have to be off by much to really destroy a tire. There was a Japanese company years ago that had a very aggressive alignment setting, and that was for performance and handling. They found out they got a ton of complaints from people just burning tires up after 8,000 miles, and it wasn't really that they were racing the car. It was just because the alignment setting was so aggressive. So they came out with 2 or 3 revisions, and finally that calmed down a little bit, and I don't think they doubled the life of the mileage, but they certainly got 50% more life out of the mileage, again, just from the alignment setting. The most common alignment setting that goes off on these front-wheel drive unibody cars is the toe setting. Toe setting is how the tire points when you look at it straight ahead. If it points out from the front, that's toe out. Points in, toe in. In a toe in condition, you'll notice that the outside shoulders of the tire wear. Toe out, you're pushing, so your inside shoulders will wear. That could also be from a camber adjustment, but that's more likely in the rear on cars that do have independent suspensions. The high-end German cars, etc., run a certain amount of that negative camber to aid in handling. Again, and that was the problem with the Japanese company until they got their camber settings all straight. So to prove what we're talking about with IRA, inflation, rotation, and alignment, you can take a look at our little Chevy, and if you look down at these tires, there's about 26,000 miles on them, and GM really got their alignment settings correct on this car, because as you can see, this tire is even all the way across. Even though it's 26,000 miles, one shoulder is not higher or lower, the middle's aren't cupped or chopped, the tread is smooth, you can run your hand on it. Okay, so that just gives you an indication the condition of the car. The car's had struts, it's had an alignment, it's not driven hard in the first place. And even if it was, as long as you're taking care of your maintenance, again, shocks and struts are most important. If you put new tires on a car, it's absolutely advised that you do get an alignment, not to burn off those new tires. And hopefully that helps. There are different types of tires because there's so many categories within tires. And again, using the Chevy as an example, this car came with Firestones. They were absolutely perfect. Later on, I think we put on a set of Falcons. Those wore absolutely perfect, and now we're sitting on Toyos, and as you can see, those are wearing absolutely perfect. So through the 3 different types of tires that we've had on there, we had a standard tire, the Firestone, Performance All Season, which was the Falcon, and now we have a Grand Touring tire on it now. Slightly different characteristics between them, but again, because GM really got the alignment settings right on this, and because we've taken care of the shocks, the struts, done alignments on it, you can see the tire wear is absolutely minimal. Another thing, word about tire wear, is that it affects the balance of the tire. So if you start seeing you have a shake or a vibration after 25,000 miles and there's uneven tire wear, absolutely the balancing is not going to stay the same because you're taking rubber off the tire, different from when it was originally balanced when you put the tire on the car. So it's always a good idea when you do your rotation, even once a year, to have the tires rebalanced, just to do it as a balance check. And that's really about it. So again, inflation, rotation, alignment, stay up on the pressures, do your rotation at least once a year. 6,000 to 8,000 miles, 10 if you want to stretch it. It's not so bad. Some cars you can't rotate because you have different tires front and back. There's a staggered set. So you just have to kind of live with it given, the type of car that you're doing. So we hope that helps, and keep rolling down the road. We'll see you again. Thank you.